In the intricate realm of global politics, partnerships are frequently shaped by mutual interests, strategic priorities, and common goals. While the United States has historically maintained close relationships with numerous world leaders, one name that stands out in recent years is Mark Rutte, the long-serving Dutch Prime Minister. Known for his pragmatic approach, diplomatic finesse, and steadfast leadership, Rutte has emerged as a key figure in U.S. European relations. But what exactly makes Mark Rutte the U.S. favorite? Is it his steady hand in navigating global challenges, his economic policies, or his ability to balance relationships within a fragmented European Union? In this video, we will explore the reasons why the U.S. has developed such a favorable view of Mark Rutte, and how his leadership style aligns with American interests. The Netherlands, a NATO powerhouse. First, it is essential to understand that the Netherlands has a long and respected history within NATO leadership. In fact, Rutte's expected appointment would make him the fourth Dutchman to hold the position of NATO Secretary General, more than any other nation has produced. This historical precedent speaks to the Netherlands' strong commitment to the transatlantic alliance and its strategic importance in bridging the interests of Europe and North America. The Dutch political system, characterized by its fragmented, coalition-based governance, has produced leaders who are exceptionally skilled in building consensus, a crucial trait for a role like NATO Secretary General, where maintaining unity among member states is paramount. This background alone gives Rutte an edge in the race to lead NATO. The U.S. values leaders who can effectively manage diverse opinions and bring together coalition governments, traits that are second nature to any Dutch Prime Minister. Rutte's nearly 14-year tenure as Prime Minister, the longest in Dutch history, speaks volumes about his ability to navigate political minefields and emerge unscathed. In Washington's eyes, this experience makes him well-equipped to handle the inevitable challenges that come with leading NATO, an alliance often racked by internal disagreements, especially in times of geopolitical upheaval. Rutte's pragmatic approach, a double-edged sword. While Rutte's history of coalition building may be one reason the U.S. backs him for the NATO role, his pragmatism stands as another. Known as Teflon Mark for his ability to survive political scandals and challenges, Rutte has become synonymous with political survival and adaptability. His approach to governance is pragmatic rather than ideological, allowing him to strike deals and make compromises that ensure his political longevity. In his years as Dutch Prime Minister, Rutte has successfully negotiated tough compromises on issues ranging from austerity measures during the financial crisis to migration policies during the European refugee crisis. For example, during the height of the 2015 migration crisis, Rutte played a crucial role in brokering a controversial agreement between the EU and Turkey, which saw the EU pay Turkey to take in refugees and curb the flow of migrants into Europe. While the deal was criticized for outsourcing the EU's humanitarian responsibilities, it achieved its primary objective of reducing migration numbers, a key issue for European nations. This kind of deal-making, even when it involves uncomfortable compromises, is precisely what the U.S. appreciates in Rutte. NATO's next leader will need to navigate not only the war in Ukraine but also rising tensions with China, ongoing instability in the Middle East, and potential challenges within the alliance, such as Hungary's and Turkey's increasingly authoritarian tendencies. However, this same pragmatism could be a liability for NATO's core values. Rutte has shown a willingness to work with illiberal leaders, both domestically and internationally, if it serves his political aims. For instance, in his quest to secure the NATO leadership, Rutte had to mend fences with Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Relations between the two had been strained since 2017, when Erdogan labeled the Dutch government Nazi remnants after the Netherlands blocked a Turkish minister from attending a political rally in Rotterdam. Despite these tensions, Rutte traveled to Turkey in 2023 to patch up relations, and his efforts were successful. Erdogan eventually supported his NATO bid. Even more striking was Rutte's reconciliation with Hungary's Viktor Orbán, one of Europe's most controversial leaders. Orbán, known for his anti-LGBTQ+ legislation and increasingly authoritarian policies, had been a frequent target of Rutte's criticisms. In 2021, Rutte even suggested that Hungary no longer belonged in the EU because of its anti-LGBTQ+ laws. Yet when it came to securing Orbán's support for his NATO candidacy, Rutte demonstrated his extreme ideological flexibility, as Dutch commentators described it. He issued a letter expressing regret for past criticisms and assured Orbán that Hungary would be allowed to opt out of NATO activities in Ukraine. This willingness to overlook Orbán's illiberal policies has drawn criticism, raising concerns about whether Rutte's pragmatism might ultimately undermine NATO's commitment to democratic values. A break with tradition. While NATO has a history of selecting pragmatic leaders from small European nations, Rutte's willingness to accommodate illiberal politicians represents a break from the past. Previous Dutch NATO chiefs operated in a less polarized political environment. Rutte, by contrast, has had to navigate a world where populism and authoritarianism are on the rise, both within the EU and among NATO members. His ability to adapt to this new reality is undoubtedly part of his appeal to the U.S., especially at a time when Donald Trump, a vocal critic of NATO, may once again become president. At the 2023 Munich Security Conference, Rutte offered a glimpse into how he might handle a second Trump presidency. Instead of expressing concern about Trump's well-documented disdain for NATO, Rutte shrugged off the possibility, advising the world to stop moaning, whining, and nagging about Trump. His nonchalance about Trump speaks to Rutte's pragmatic approach. He's willing to work with whoever is on the dance floor, as he puts it. This adaptability might prove useful in dealing with the U.S. under Trump, who has repeatedly called into question the relevance of NATO and suggested that the U.S. should reduce its financial contributions to the alliance. Challenges ahead for NATO. Rutte's pragmatism and deal-making skills will certainly be put to the test as NATO faces unprecedented challenges. The war in Ukraine is likely to continue, testing the alliance's resolve and unity. At the same time, tensions between the U.S. and China are escalating, and NATO must figure out its role in a world where great power competition is once again at the forefront of global politics. Furthermore, there are internal challenges. NATO must ensure that its members adhere to the democratic values upon which the alliance was founded, a task that will be difficult with authoritarian leaders like Orbán and Erdogan within its ranks. Rutte's track record suggests that he will approach these challenges with the same pragmatism that has defined his political career. However, this pragmatism could come at a cost. If Rutte is willing to make deals with illiberal leaders for the sake of short-term gains, NATO's long-term commitment to democracy and human rights may be at risk. As the world's most powerful military alliance, NATO must not only defend its member states from external threats, but also uphold the values that have made it a beacon of stability for over 70 years. Thanks for watching. If you found this analysis of Mark Rutte's rise in NATO and his relationship with the U.S. insightful, don't forget to like, comment, and share your thoughts below. Make sure to subscribe for more in-depth geopolitical content and hit the bell icon to stay updated.